Alright, let's dive into this because it's a story that's got the cycling world buzzing, and personally, I think it's one of the most fascinating rivalries we've seen in years. Jonas Vingegaard, the Danish powerhouse, is essentially asking himself, what more can I do, when it comes to competing with Tadej Pogacar? And honestly, it's a question that's loaded with frustration, ambition, and a bit of existential crisis. Let me break it down for you. First off, the hook here is undeniable. Vingegaard, a two-time Tour de France champion, is at the peak of his career, yet he's being left in the dust by Pogacar. What makes this really interesting is that Vingegaard isn't just losing, he's losing while performing better than he ever has. In my opinion, this isn't just a story about two cyclists, it's a story about the limits of human performance and the psychological toll of chasing someone who seems untouchable. Now, let's set the stage. Vingegaard beat Pogacar in 2022 and 2023, but since then, Pogacar has flipped the script. He's not just winning, he's dominating. And Vingegaard? He's winning races like Paris-Nice, the Volta a Catalunya, and even the Giro d'Italia, yet it's not enough. One thing that immediately stands out is how Vingegaard's frustration isn't about decline, it's about stagnation in the face of Pogacar's evolution. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just a physical battle, it's a mental one. Vingegaard is asking himself, if my best isn't good enough, what's left? Mattias Skjelmose's insight here is gold. He reveals that Vingegaard is genuinely perplexed, saying, I produce the best I've ever done, and he just rides away from me. This raises a deeper question, what happens when you're already at your peak, but your rival is redefining what's possible? From my perspective, this is where the story gets philosophical. It's not just about winning or losing, it's about the pursuit of excellence in a world where someone else is setting the bar higher than you ever imagined. Now, let's talk about Pogacar for a second. The guy is a phenomenon. Since 2024, he's not just winning the Tour, he's winning everything. Grand Tours, monuments, world championships, you name it. But here's the thing. Vingegaard is still the only rider who's consistently close to him. What this really suggests is that Vingegaard isn't just competing with Pogacar, he's competing with the idea of perfection. And that's a battle no one can win indefinitely. A detail I find fascinating is Vingegaard's crash in the 2026 Tour. It ended his race, but it also ended the streak of him and Pogacar finishing first and second. If you take a step back and think about it, this rivalry has defined the Tour de France for years. Without Vingegaard there, the race felt different. It's a reminder of how much these two have shaped the sport. Michael Rasmussen's commentary adds another layer. He called Vingegaard's explanation for his struggles a poor excuse, saying Visma could have sent him to the moon and he'd still lose to Pogacar. Personally, I think Rasmussen's take is harsh but not entirely unfair. Vingegaard's preparation might have been off, but it's also true that Pogacar is operating on a different level. What this really highlights is the pressure on Vingegaard, not just from fans or his team, but from himself. And that pressure is enormous. Skjelmose points out that Vingegaard is the only one who's come close to Pogacar, which means all eyes are on him. Everyone's expectations are on him, not just Denmark's. This is where the story gets personal. Vingegaard is carrying the weight of a nation, a sport, and his own ambition. It's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone someone who's already giving everything he's got. So, where does this leave us? Vingegaard is 30, contracted with Visma until 2028, and recovering from a fractured collarbone. His next Tour confrontation with Pogacar will be a defining moment. But here's the thing, even if he wins, will it be enough? Pogacar has set a standard that's almost mythical. Vingegaard is already surpassing his own past achievements, yet it might not matter. This raises a deeper question, in a rivalry like this, can anyone truly win? Closing thought, this isn't just a story about cycling, it's a story about what happens when two people push each other to the absolute limit. Vingegaard's question, what more can I do, isn't just about him or Pogacar. It's about all of us. What do you do when you've given everything, and it's still not enough? That's the question that lingers long after the race ends. So, what do you think? Is Vingegaard's pursuit of Pogacar a noble quest or a futile one? Let me know in the comments below.